Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Spiritually Inclined. My name is Crystal. I am here to share aspects of my journey and spiritual knowledge as I come across, realizations and, um, just figuring things out on my journey. I'm 3 years into my spiritual awakening, and I just thought I'd, share a spiritual vlog to help others figure things out on their spiritual journey, because it then became clear to me on how everything worked, especially now. At first, it was, I wasn't really for sure what was going on, why things were happening the way they were, but now I'm more aware, more conscious and aware of what's happening on this journey. So right now, my last few videos, I wanted to speak about that as well. So my last few videos were just, spiritual rants and talking about certain things, just sharing a little bit of knowledge or whatever on what has been shown to me during my spiritual journey and my search for answers as well. So right now I'm at the point where I'm like in the waiting room and the lobby of my spiritual journey, which means like there hasn't been much happening lately. At first I was going through some trials and tribulations, in my 3D, in the 3D aspect of the situation. That means you're like in your current reality. For those who don't know what the 3D is, that means your actual reality and, outside perspective of your existence. So I was going through some things with, other people, at first it was, before then, it was, I was going through the tower moment where I was losing everything. I lost my car, lost, my place to stay, and, old things fall away so that new things can come in. You're stripped of the old things that no longer serve you so that new things can come in. So right now, after a period of mastering my responses to the 3D, you go through that period in order to maintain a high vibration. So I was being tested with occurrences in my 3D, as far as other people and, things of that nature. And so it happened repetitiously until I got to a point where I'm like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of letting this bother me. You get exhausted after so long. And so that's basically why the universe allows it to happen, because eventually you got to get to the point where you like, I'm not finna let none of this bother me, because the 3D doesn't matter. The circumstances don't matter. And the only time circumstances matter is when you allow it to bother you. And when you allow things to bother you and bring your frequency down, that's what keeps your manifestations delayed. So, and it takes time, it takes time to build momentum in the energy of your manifestations. And that's what I feel like I'm going through right now. But in the meantime, in between time, visualization and meditation and all of that is very important to help keep and maintain the high frequency so that it can attract. Because we've been attracting in the undesired with our lower frequency, it takes time to build momentum. Like, you have to get your frequency stable to where it's not fluctuating, because things in the 3D can bother us to the point where it drops, and then other times we're high vibration, and then we allow something to drop it back down. That's what keeps the manifestations from materializing. So when you get to a point where outer circumstances and things and people are no longer able to penetrate your frequency, you can keep it at a steady level where it's high enough to bring in and materialize your manifestations and your visualizations and all of that. So you got to kind of like live in a dreamland. We have to be delulu. Now we're living in a time in life where it's okay to be delulu, because the Matrix will have you thinking that being delulu is just you crazy, but we really truly have to be delulu. Like, especially about your manifestations, you have to know that you already have them. And that's another thing, they actually exist. Y'all know the past, present, and the future is existing all at the same time. So everything is happening all at once. So there's parallel versions and parallel realities that all exist all at once, because creation is finished. God already did his thing. We just living it out, And so, like I said before, you get to pick and choose what version of everything that you want to co-create in. And so when you choose to co-create in positivity, that's what you will attract, because we're like sponges in this universe. The universe works with our mind. Everything is mental. So when you allow things to bother you, that's when you interrupt the flow of manifestation of more desirable experiences. Is basically what it is. So that's the point that I'm in right now, where everything basically died down, because my frequency has been staying more so at either a 0 point energy level, which means what I tell y'all every time. Every time. So the 0 point energy, if you can't maintain a high level, just stay calm, stay neutral, release judgment of anything or anybody. Know that everything is a part of creation. Everything that happens, I'm talking about even with other people. I'm not judgmental of murderers and people doing bad things, because I know that the Creator created the ability for all of that and is working all of that out for the greater good. If there was no bad, there will be no good. Not saying that it's okay, because the Matrix wants you to judge, but I stand at a neutral position on everything. And I don't cast judgment, because the Creator doesn't even judge the killers because they ended up like that, somehow, some way, So, everybody is living out their experience of what they want to experience here on Earth. And there are people on the darker aspect of, this reality, who have to live and play their role in creation, So, everything, the universe works all of that out. But that's not to say that, God is okay with, God is just not judgmental of it. I'm just going to put it that way. God is separating, those who choose to operate on the lighter side of the aspect from, you know, those who choose to operate on the darker side of the aspect of existence. And that's what the Great Awakening is. It's a split in duality, a split in frequency. So everybody is going to be, you know, radiating frequencies on the lower aspect, and then there's people who radiate frequencies on the higher aspect, and those realities are splitting so that, you know, people who operate on the lighter aspect and people who you know, experience people who operate on the lighter aspect of existence won't have to be in co-creation with the darker aspect, if that makes any sense. It's kind of hard to, you know, explain it, but dualities are splitting. That doesn't mean that we're not going to be, you know, existing, you know, in the same realms. It's just that, you know, frequencies are split, basically. We're gonna all be existent here on the planet. It's just there's no longer gonna be a mix of higher and lower frequency. It's gonna be everyone who's vibrating on a higher frequency is going to experience a different version of everyone who is deciding to, you know, hold on to lower frequencies and things of that nature. They're going to be experiencing that version of the planet. But it's all happening simultaneously at the same time on the planet. So, if that makes any sense. So, with that being said, like I've said in earlier videos, you have to decide, you know, to let go of the past traumas, you know, heal. Healing is the only way to, you know, get on a higher frequency. Because if you're holding on to, you know, all the negative experiences that you've been through, you know, while being here on this planet, then, you know, that's going to keep you in a lower frequency. So we want to focus on the positivity rather than, you know, negativity. Because we can ultimately experience heaven here on earth. We can experience pure bliss by, you know, totally, you know, getting to a higher level of frequency. Like I was saying about neutrality, if it's harder, if you're at a point where it's hard for you to maintain a high frequency, 0 point energy, that's the energy in between high and low. That means you're at a, you know, 0 point. Like, you don't feel negative about nothing. You ain't, you know, you're positive, but you're not like at a high positive level. You're just right there. You're calm. You know, don't nothing bother you. You can manifest from that frequency as well, from that point on up. And so, you know, I practice neutrality. I don't judge anything, because ultimately the universe, God, source, spirit, whatever you identify, you know, with the Creator as, doesn't judge us. And we have to, you know, God is our higher self. So in order to get to your higher self, you have to operate and think like the Creator. And once during your spirituality and your spiritual journey, you learn how to view things from the aspect of the Creator. You learn how to view things from the aspect of the Creator itself. And that's what you're becoming. You're actually becoming more of your higher self, which is spirit. I know I just said that, but I felt the need to re-say it. So I hope that, you know, my videos is reaching those who need it. I hope it helps with clarity. And please like, share, and subscribe to those who you may know are also on a spiritual journey, because we can help each other out with these things. We're never alone. You have other people out there just like you. You have your higher self and your, you know, higher self, which is spirit, which is God, your higher self, because that's who we're returning to in this physical realm. You're becoming God in the physical realm. So, you know, you are a physical aspect of God. You are God in flesh. You're a manifestation of God itself. And God is experiencing this whole, you know, life and existence through you in a more tangible way. And so God wants you to return home, you know, and be more of yourself, which is God. And that's what the whole purpose of a spiritual journey, returning to yourself. And, you know, God wants you to experience it from its spiritual perspective in a physical way. So we're combining heaven and the physical realm together and becoming our true, authentic God self to experience bliss in real, tangible form. So I hope that makes sense to everybody watching here. I love you guys. Take care, and until next time, Ashe.